That's the sound of rocks being cooked. This is Ivy, and you're listening to
Slut Shame This.
So hi guys, welcome back to Slut Shame This. It is Ivy LaBelle and Kevin Rice. Kevin!
Hi.
Hi. It's day 5 million in quarantine. It's been a minute since we've recorded. Weirdly, we've both been staying busy in quarantine, so it's hard to get together, but we're here. And I'm excited to hang out and chat with Kevin today.
Woo!
Oh, last night I was laying in bed waiting for my Xanax to kick in, and I was looking through this meme page called The Cable Guy. Do you follow Cable Guy?
Never heard of it.
Really? Oh, dang. It's like really obscure humor, which I like. The longer I'm on the internet, the weirder I want my content to be.
I'm going to follow it right now.
And it was just a small snippet. There was no real like humor in it. It just was like blowing my mind that it was an ASMR video that some dude made, and he was like grilling rocks, and they looked delicious. It was
what do you like in a barbecue?
Yes, like in a wok. I think it was like
what?
Or like a cast iron skillet, just like a black,
Why is it gotta be black?
heated surface, a black heated surface, and he was seasoning the rocks.
No.
Yes, and then he was sucking on them after. It was like an ASMR thing. So it was like making all these crazy sounds. So it's like the sounds of the rocks sizzling, the sounds of them getting seasoned, and the sounds of him like slurping on them. Yeah, you found it. It's super weird.
They look like potatoes.
But those are rocks, right? Or
Yeah.
was I like high on Xanax already? I think they're rocks. They're definitely rocks.
They look like rocks.
We're going to talk about what is our sluttiness going to look like going forward? How are we going to be sluts in a post-COVID / current COVID climate? I mean, it's a question that has been raised for me in my mind this whole time. I'm like, when am I going to get to hoe out again?
Have you been hoeing in?
What does that mean?
I mean, what has your sex life looked like during lockdown?
It was non-existent until a couple weeks ago. My quarantina ass went and got some dick. I couldn't do it anymore. I was losing my mind.
Was it like a delivery dick, or was it like a pickup, takeout?
I went to it.
You went? Oh,
I went to it. Yeah, I almost.
Curbside.
He's like, I'm offering curbside pickup only, and I'm like, fine.
Not dine in. No dine.
I'm like, but I want to dine in. So I did do that. And then immediately after, I started having anxiety. I know this person. I didn't just go have like a random hookup, but I actually had never hooked up with this person because my thought process was, why am I going to waste my in my brain, I was like, if I'm going to break the rules, it better be good. But then I'm like, I don't want to break the rules for some basic ass dick I've had before. Because if I'm not currently fucking you and I fucked you before, that probably means like I don't really care about fucking you all that much.
Sick burn. Shots fired.
I mean, I'll do it. But I was like, I was weighing my options. There's a couple of guys that I used to talk to that I was considering. And I was like, I just didn't feel it as much as I felt the idea of this new person who I had a lot of sexual tension with because it had been built up for a long time. And it was great. But then immediately after, I was like, well, we didn't even have a talk about what our sexual climate's like, you know?
Did you ask the question? Were you like, hey, are you, what's your temperature?
No, but he did tell me that he had taken the antibody test and he showed me. So that made me, I feel like that's like so basically I want to kind of talk about what hooking up is going to be like for us now and going forward. 'Cause it's like, I feel like almost like showing off your antibody test is showing someone like a clean bill of health from like the STD clinic. It's like, look.
Yeah.
And even though it doesn't mean that you can't get it, it does still give that illusion of safety.
Yeah, it's something to like hold on to.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, someone could show you a test that they got the day before yesterday, but you don't know what they did between then and now. So even when we see a clean bill of health via the clinic regarding all the typical STIs, you're still taking a risk every time you have sex, and especially if you choose not to use a condom. So yeah, for me, like after the fact, I was like, I feel like we had a conversation where I made it very clear that I hadn't had sex with anyone since lockdown, and he insinuated that he hadn't, but didn't straight up say it. Also, like, never hope that guys are going to do the right thing. That's the stupidest thing you can do. Is like,
you know, he would tell me. I don't have to ask. He would tell me.
No, he wouldn't, bitch. He's trying to get his dick wet.
Even when it is life-threatening, they don't give a shit. So I started smelling shit after a couple times of like hanging out with him, and I just kind of felt like maybe I wasn't the only one in the rotation, and it made me really uncomfortable. But instead of doing anything about it, I just decided to block him.
When you say smell, you mean like emotional smells?
Smelled shit, like literally, yeah. And like, my intuition was firing off every cylinder. Like, there's no good reason for you to not text back in a timely manner.
Worst.
Yeah. I'm like, I know where you live. I'm just kidding.
I'm not watching you on your security camera.
No, not at all.
Weird.
That'd be super weird. But you know what's even weirder is not just like me not being more forthright and just asking him what's up. I should have asked these questions prior. So that's what I want to kind of talk about. And I'm actually interested to hear the listeners' opinions, because this is like, I'm not the holy grail of information. I'm just coming from the point of view of someone who is single, who wants to remain sexually active, but now we're in like this totally different climate.
It's a new reality. Yeah.
It is. And so I'm trying to figure out how to still get laid and be ethical about it. I'm wondering how people are going to go about like hooking up, and if dating apps are going to be a thing.
Do you think they're going to like incorporate, like Tinder's going to incorporate some sort of like verify, like a little check mark?
How do you verify though?
You know, here's an idea. So like I wear contacts.
Okay.
And every year I think you have to get a, new prescription or whatever. Well, 1-800-CONTACTS, shout out. Sponsorship.
I'm sure this is where they want to be advertising. When you get cum in your eye, we'll be here to replace your contacts.
Listen, get your daily contacts. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
But anyway, 1-800-CONTACTS developed this thing where you essentially can renew your prescription based on your, like through the internet, based on your computer or your phone. You just like read some like, the little chart off your phone, which is like kind of cheating or whatever. But so maybe it's something like that where like you can send in some sort of test, like you can get verified,
right. Like,
by
and
a
then
local
everything
clinic,
else
and then
is like
send it
your
in.
own risk or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of things are going to happen. I feel like once the actual stay-at-home order has been lifted, everyone's going to hoe the fuck out. Every single person that I know is like foaming at the mouth to like get out there and like get laid. And it's also foaming at the mouth to like not just go be wifed up. It's like, I want to go fuck all the people that I never got to fuck before.
Yeah, because we might die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we do this safely? Do you have any thoughts? I know you're not single, but like if you were in this position, which is an easy one to imagine, what would you do going forward when your hormones are raging and you haven't had sex in like 2 months? What do you do?
Yeah, that's
Do you fuck your friends over like meeting someone on the internet?
Yeah, maybe. I think, maybe the idea of like, you know, how people have their like small circle that they've been like quarantining with, or that is like their little family where they're like, I know a lot of families, people who have kids who are like combining families to like share the workload, which is kind of an interesting social experiment.
Never. I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah.
I'm like so independently on my own. I'm like, what?
No,
Family sharing? No, thank you.
It's weird. And like, obviously, I don't have kids.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have kids. But a friend of mine, they call it like merging, where they merge 2 families together. And it's literally like some old timey shit where it's like,
That is
then
old-timey.
you have like 2 women folk to like clean all the babies and do all the cooking.
What?
You know, yeah, it's wild. But I guess literally it's like so much work
Right.
to have a child, like to be taking care of a child 100% of the time, doing homeschooling, like all that shit. So I guess it makes sense. So maybe it's something like that where you take your small group of like sex partners or like friends or whoever, people you trust, and you like create a little like network of like, well, we're going to share our
We're gonna share our penises
Result.
and vaginas.
or but like we're going to share like our test results and
Right.
and it's like mutually beneficial.
I think
like
that the antibody test will be something that would make me feel more at ease going forward. I mean, it was one of the reasons that I even decided to go fuck the guy that I did.
Yeah.
Because he like showed it to me and I was like,
The only thing,
it's less scary than fucking someone that doesn't have antibodies.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's hard to know based on what I've read, and I'm no expert obviously, but based on what I've read, we just don't have enough information to know
Yeah.
whether it can phase immunity like forever or for 6
Yeah.
months or
Right.
or if it depends on how much of the virus you got initially, and then that dictates how much immunity you have. So it's hard to know, but I totally
It's a
get it.
false sense of security that
Yeah.
we're all looking for because we're all looking for the green light. And if we don't have the green light, then we're going to at least go for the yellow, you know, like,
love it.
and so the red light is like, I have a fever.
Yeah.
And then the orange light is like everything in between. And it's basically going to be up to our own ethics, you know, our risk versus reward idea. You know, there's just so much we don't know about the virus, and it's easy to feel very almost like superhuman if you don't know anyone personally that's been
Right.
really ill from it. I do think I just got the antibody test today. So I'm really curious, just like seriously out of curiosity to see if I have antibodies. Because if I don't, I'll be shocked because I really think that I had it in February when I came back from AVN.
Yeah.
AVN makes so much sense for a COVID breeding ground. It's people from all over the world coming to a convention in a hotel with circulating the same air. People are making out, hooking up. I mean, like literally fans go to meet their favorite porn stars. So they're hugging, shaking hands with so many different people all over the world. It's called the AVN flu. It's a literal flu that we all get almost every year. Like if you don't get it, you are superhuman. But when I came back this year, it took about a week to settle in. So like I came back and was just exhausted from AVN and I was like, maybe I'm not going to get it. And then I got a cough. And I'm not a smoker, not a weed smoker, not a cigarette smoker. Like I never get coughs. I never cough. And it was a dry, persistent, annoying cough. And I remember I was hanging out with my ex, who's my friend, and I was just like, why do I keep coughing? Ugh, like what is this? And the next day I woke up and it was worse. And then it felt like someone was sitting on my chest.
Oy.
And then it turned into a fever and a violent cough. I was taking NyQuil at night, Dayquil during the day, plus a cough suppressant with both of those. So like double cough suppressant just to not violently cough constantly. And it took about 10 days and then it just started to wear off. I felt better and then I got sick again. It like, you know, like it was very typical of what I've been hearing of like the standard COVID symptoms. So next time we tune in, I'll share my results.
Ooh, exciting.
Ooh, if I have antibodies, come get it. Oh, honey.
It's literally gonna be the check mark next to your name on Instagram or Twitter. It's gonna be like a green check mark for antibodies.
Antibody approved. So
Profile pic.
yes.
Test results.
Well, I don't have really any friends that could have a sexual relationship with at the moment, and I don't want to really do that. Like, I want to meet new people. I want to move forward with my life.
Yeah.
I also know that sounds very selfish because I know like what everything is like, but this is Slut Shame This. We're talking about dating and sex, so this is what we're talking about. I think for me personally, it's going to come down to being transparent, me communicating on my behalf, even if the other person isn't. So, like, for example, didn't ask the person that I had sex with if he was fucking other people, and that should have been one of the first things I asked. But for me and my brain and my logic, I'm like, it's so obvious that if you are, you should just disclose that.
Yeah.
But then I forget that not everyone is like me.
Yeah.
And that some people are shady and they don't care about you or your health, and they will do whatever they can to get what they want. I'm not accusing this person of that, but it's all things that have crossed my mind. So going forward, for my own peace of mind, I would say that before hooking up with anyone new, I would ask them, you know, how their health has been overall, if they know anyone that's been sick, have they been in contact with anyone that's been sick, and what their sexual history of the past 2 months has looked like. And then from there, I have to hope that they're being honest. And then I would like to see an antibody test. It would just make me feel a little bit safer.
Yeah.
It makes me know that they care enough about their health to go do that. Because if you don't care at all, then that's terrifying. So at least if you like can go spend like $130 or whatever it is on the test because you want to like go back to normal life, that shows me that you at least have the wherewithal to do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like at least you do that.
You're not one of the like anti-mask people.
No, I am
just realized
not.
that's actually a band, anti-mask.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is there a band?
Yeah, one of my-
Anti-mask.
Anti-mask. One of my friends was playing drums for them. They're great. I think you'd actually really like them. So I know previously you've talked about the check system or the like verification system for
Pass
system. Thank you. For the porn industry.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? Maybe like as a model for going forward with like COVID with regards to like sexual partners, do you think that could be a good like formula?
It could be, definitely. And I think that, you know, what I was saying about seeing an antibody like test result, that's kind of along the same vein. And I think that one of the several testing facilities under PASS is incorporating COVID testing as part of their testing. I don't think it's the antibody test. I think it's just the COVID test. So that is a helpful thing to have too, you know, to see if they like currently have it.
Yeah.
But again, it's still such a gamble. It's a gamble like with anything. It's just a scarier one because we know less about it. Like if you get chlamydia, you take a Z-Pak and you move on. The only really scary ones are like hepatitis and HIV. And we really, you know, we know a lot more about those diseases. They're not less bad or less scary, but there's more information.
Yeah.
Where COVID is still like, I don't know, you could get the strain that takes you out, or you could get the strain that gives you a cough.
Right.
It's crazy. I really think that going forward, it's going to be like using a lot of discretion, and people are going to need to be okay with and accepting of people getting really personal really quick and asking questions, and to not be uptight about that information. Because if you're going to be withholding or secretive, but you're trying to have an active dating or sex life, then like this is really not the time. And I think it reflects really poorly on you if you're going to be like that. And I think you're going to get found out pretty quickly because everyone is being so open and talkative.
So what do you think are some good, like what are some good tips for the listeners? Let's say they are in the situation. They've decided to go on a date or have some sort of rendezvous, Netflix and chill, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think we really. I guess we could go to parks.
You go to a park,
the beach.
yeah. But so you've decided you're going to go meet up with somebody. The threat of sex is real.
Sex is imminent.
Sex is imminent. Imminent expectation of sex. What are some tips about how to like broach that have that conversation, broach that subject?
I think it should be had before you go meet up. Personally, that just takes it off the table, right? Of like it, well, when do I bring up? Like, are we? It's like that's why I feel like we have to be more candid than ever. Like, do you have the intention to fuck me tonight? If so, can we like talk about it? It's not sexy, but neither is getting a virus that could take you out. So,
what do you think? I mean, it's kind of interesting. You say it's not sexy. In my mind, I feel like that could almost kind of be a hot thing if you did it in the right way, or if it's two people who have like really good chemistry.
Yeah,
it could almost be like, oh wow, this person is being like very forward in like a kind of hot way.
Yeah,
and it builds the anticipation, and maybe there's a way to kind of like have that conversation, have it lead into something that's like, ooh.
You could also always be like, listen. Let's talk about our sexual history for a minute. Let's talk about the possibility of having sex. I also reserve the right to be not sexually into you upon meeting, but I still want to cover our bases before.
Yeah.
Almost
like a prenup, but for sex.
Exactly. I don't know, sign waivers.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a waiver to fuck me.
But so, I mean, with the pass system, like on that note, how does that work if somebody tests positive? Is it just like automatically shut down or like
fucking no?
Really?
It's also new. You know what I'm saying? And no companies I know of are shooting right now. And if people are wanting to shoot content amongst themselves, that's their prerogative and that's up to them. And they can I think they can choose whether to get tested for COVID or not. So some people might not even be testing for it. I don't know. So because there's nothing really concrete in place and there's no like real plan of action, I don't think companies are in a hurry to go back to shooting. I'm not in a hurry because I want to know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
And I don't know it right now. If someone else does, like, please let me know. But I spoke to my agent today and he's like, I don't think people are going to go back to shooting for another month or two. And I think it is because of things like that. It's not even that like the threat of the virus is so intense. It's more that like these companies need to have their,
protocol.
Yeah, their protocol. And also like they don't want to get sued. Like you have to have all your shit set up for worst case scenario. And that's just not the case right now. I definitely miss shooting with other people, and going forward, I probably will end up going and getting tested once I get like my antibody test back and, talk to some other performers and see if they've gotten that test and see if they've gone to pass, and like maybe pick like 2 performers to like occasionally shoot content with that are like also friends of mine, Because we got to start taking baby steps to go back to work. And I feel like that feels safe to me. Like I could shoot with Lena, you know, like, and that wouldn't be terrifying because I'm good friends with her and I know what she's been up to. I know that she hasn't been sick. And if I saw her test results, then on top of knowing her and her life, I would feel like, okay, I can have sex with her.
And it's interesting you bring up Lena. Like when we had her on the last episode, she was talking about how limitations and restrictions of lockdown and only being able to have one partner and shoot all the content with one partner has it's actually kind of worked out in a positive way with regard to the content that she's making, and people seem to be really liking that. So I wonder if you think going forward, if that will kind of lead to some interesting creative choices that people make in the industry.
Well, people just love to see a hot couple in love fucking.
Yeah.
That's never going to get old. So, her and her mans are kind of like Johnny Sins and Kissa Sins, who were like this super hot couple. And when they, they made all their content together, and like people just become stans, like they're just like, I love this couple. But when they ended up breaking up, like people can't even accept it. They like still like message Kiss. They're like, where's Johnny? And she's like, we're still friends. We're just not a couple anymore. And it's like, so that's like, I feel like that's neither here nor there as far as like what the masses are looking for, because at the end of the day, for every person that wants to see a beautiful couple that's in love, there's another person that wants to see a fist in an asshole with no faces, so it's like, that's not gonna change.
A faceless asshole.
Yeah, just like a tight shot, I'm not talking about me personally, what I like or anything. So I don't think that the content type going forward is going to change too much, because our tastes aren't going to change going forward. But if people have been pushed together by COVID, that's cool. If it's made their, bonds stronger, that's awesome. All my fans are getting is solo content from me. But I had so much fun going live tonight. I really had a blast. And actually some people were asking about the podcast when I was live. And I was like, I'm going to go record after this. I actually had someone too commenting on my Instagram being like, I came here because I'm a fan of Slut Shame This, and I didn't even really realize that you're a porn star until right now.
There you go.
I'm like, what episodes are you listening to? Because I feel like I talk about it a lot.
Cross promotion.
Either way, it was funny.
That's cute.
Yeah. Okay, guys, and now it is time for DM of the week. I have not even looked through my DMs per se, but this is just a cute, funny story that I wanted to share that does involve a DM, because the guy I lost my virginity to when I was 14 DM'd me today. I guess he was visiting his mom, and he found this box that we made together when I was very young, of stuff of like memories. And guys, this is so gross. Are you ready? When I first met him, he told me that if I gave him my virginity, he would keep it forever. And he saved the condom in a plastic bag.
No.
And it's still in the box.
No.
It's like,
and his mom found it?
no, it's in a box. Like, and the box, I would post the box, but it has like my real name written all over it. But it's like Colin and Ivy from 2001 till
Forever.
And it's just like we wrote all over it. It's so cute. We put like hearts and flames, and like there's all kinds of stuff inside the box. But inside the box somewhere within a bag is 18-year-old con.
Wow. I have so many follow-up questions like what?
Oh my God.
Is it all dried up?
I'm sure. He didn't show me. We haven't gotten there. I got this
follow-up.
I got this DM on the way over here, but it's really cute. It's like Ivy was here August 2nd, 2002. And then all these little, oh my God. See, there's all these little like inside jokes that we wrote all over the box. And one, it's literally written on the box, plastic bag with like hearts around it.
Cute.
And the plastic bag is what contains my 19-year-old virginity. My virginity is older than I was when I lost it, or something.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was a fun story.
That's great.
But also feel free to send slutshamethis@gmail.com some fun stories too. Share your fun, weird stories exactly like this one, or not exactly like this one, kind of different, same but different, whatever. But I want to hear fun, cute, sex, or love stories from you guys. So email us at slutshamethis@gmail.com. All right, and it is my favorite part of the evening. It is review time. Please, 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 if you love us, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, especially on Apple Podcast. It helps us maintain visibility and keeps people coming back and staying interested. So on that note, this is a review left by Sexy Chairman Mao.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. The podcast is an interesting glimpse into the sex work industry. Lena should 100% be on every episode. They play off each other very well. It's cool to hear their thoughts on feminism and empowerment. I also really enjoyed the bits about being homebound and realizing how thin the walls are. The more mundane aspects about porn girls getting into gardening are great. So you like to hear that we're human. Excellent.
Yay.
We are. Thank you, Sexy Chairman Mao, for that glowing review. And again, going forward, if you are enjoying this podcast and you have yet to leave a review, please do so. It really does help out.
I did think it was pretty funny, that little anecdote about like porn girls being like low-key hippie gardeners.
That sounds familiar. What is that from?
That's like you said that.
Oh, I said
It's a quote of you.
it's me.
It's you.
It's true. It's true. So many sex workers are just kind of like A, introverts, and B, like little stoner girls that like to garden. I'm none of that shit. I'm the antithesis of everything I just said. I'll step on your garden. Blink. I hope you guys found this week's episode interesting, illuminating, relatable, whatever. I hope it was entertaining, and we will see you guys next time. Yay!